That's us. We're live.
Hi, good morning.
So a very warm welcome. Normally when I go to blues events, regular listeners to Whisky Rev Blues will know that I head south. So normally I have to go to Edinburgh, a big part of the Edinburgh Blues Club, or something in Glasgow or Edinburgh. But it's very rare that I head north, that I get in the car and go north from where we are. However, I was delighted towards the end of last year when I got an email that said there was going to be an Inverness International Blues Festival. So I'm sure anybody else who's in the local area is super excited about that. And I'm really delighted this morning that Kevin Hillier is joining me. Good morning, Kevin.
Morning, Graham.
Now, we were chatting before. Kevin has the title of Artistic Director for the Blues Festival, but I think partly that's just maybe because they needed to actually come up with a title that was better than or narrower than Founder of the Feast, or just man in overall responsibility for making it good, something like that. So the festival is on the 28th of March. It runs from midday until 11 o'clock in the evening. Tickets are still available. It's in the North Park in Inverness, or Northern Meeting Park in Inverness, and hopefully there will be a really good turnout. Are the tickets selling well? Do you know how the tickets are going?
Yes, they're not going badly. We're expecting a lot more. The local people tend to only buy them late for any event. But there's quite a lot of people coming from all over the country. I mean, I personally know people coming from Spain, from Denmark, from the south of England, Holland. This is the whole idea, is to bring people into Inverness.
And you yourself, Kevin, you're not a local man to the area. So could you tell us a little bit who you are and how you got involved with it?
Yes, basically, I've been involved in blues for over 30 years. I had a blues club for nearly 30 years in London. It's like one of the most successful blues clubs in the world. And I've run 10 small blues festivals in Spain over the past few years. And that's basically how this came about. The provost in Inverness was looking for something different to do. My brother-in-law, who's head of the university in Inverness, was just chatting to her one day and said, "Oh, my brother-in-law, he's just won another one of his blues festivals." And she said, "Oh, that sounds good." So we got together and had a chat about it, and she loved the idea. She's really into the music and everything. So we've tried to put it together.
So it was as kind of simple as that, just a conversation that your name was mentioned, your reputation
pretty much
was...
So, yes. It was an off-the-cuff conversation they were having. Chris had just got back from holiday and said, yeah, he'd just been at my festival and how much fun it was and how good it was. And so let's try and do this in Inverness. And what I do at all my festivals, I work with the local councils to do this for the area.
So were you given a free rein then? Did they say, look, we would just like a blues festival and we know that you're good at it, so can you put one together for us?
Basically, yes. They gave me what their budget was for the bands and everything, and it was down to me to source that. There's lots of things involved. In fact, it's in Inverness. It's a long way north, not very close to anywhere. The time of year and everything, and then you have to balance it up with getting a balance of acts and things like that. So, yeah, you just put your head together and try and work out who you'd like to get and what would work together. But what we wanted to do was take this back to the feel of a proper old school blues festival. There's many festivals going on around the country these days, which are all blues rock and all basically UK blues rock festivals. There's virtually nothing where they're bringing in the blues artists and having purely blues festivals anymore.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Do you start with an ethos before you choose which artists you're going to invite? Do you say, right, this is going to be Delta blues or rock blues?
It's difficult. I mean, you want a mixture of the different styles of music, so you want to blend it all in, and there will be blues rock, and yeah, we've nothing against it, but we want it a whole spectrum of blues and a more of it, like I said, an old school feel to it. And the main thing is as well, it's international, as in the title. We wanted to bring bands in from abroad, which aren't coming here normally. These are bands you just won't normally see. I mean, the two headliners are flying in from Austin and Memphis, just to play in the Inverness Blues Festival. And we think that's quite a catch.
That is quite excellent. Well, just if you're okay, we'll go through the various acts just to let people see who we've got. And let me go back to the beginning. There we go. So I'll put all the details in the description below the video on YouTube, and we'll leave that there. So everything that you need in order to connect to the festival website, in order to buy your tickets, in order to see who's on, and all other information is available on the Inverness International Blues website itself. So in order, the first act that we have, I believe, is coming on at 1:15, so just after lunch. Who's going to kick it off is Alice Armstrong.
Yeah. I think it'll actually be 1 o'clock now. So I think the doors will open at 12 and she'll kick off at 1 o'clock. I mean, she's an award-winning singer with an amazing voice. And we wanted to hit the road running and put something really big on to start with, get people's attention going right from the start. So
she's won awards, I think.
Sorry?
I was going to say, she won awards the last 2 years in the UK Blues Awards, didn't she?
That's right, yes. And we just advise people, don't miss any of these acts. They're all quality acts on their own. And even though Alice is on first, it's a hell of a start for a festival.
Yeah, absolutely. And then following Alice, we've got, and these times, if they're slightly off now, this was 2:30. Is that still right for Western's Blues Sonics?
These are more or less fine. Yes, you can 15 minutes probably off each one.
Come for the whole day, and then it won't matter what time they're on it.
It'll be announced very soon on the actual time webpage very soon. Yes, I've known Wes Weston many years. He was my house band in my festivals in Spain, supporting in many American artists we brought over. He's one of the top harmonica players in Europe. He's now part of Roger Daltrey's touring band. He's such a great old school blues player.
He has the look. I know that's not the important thing, but he has the look, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, and he's got the persona as well. And he loves entertaining a crowd.
And then we're going a bit gospel next, aren't we? The Future Shape of Sound.
Yes, bit of sort of grunge blues gospel. They are so exciting. They went down a storm at the Red Rooster last year, I believe. I think they're 9. They're going to be a 9-piece up there with all the backing singers and everything. And that, again, make sure you're there for the afternoon because they're just going to get everybody up dancing.
Out of the lineup, this was the only one that I didn't really know that well. So I spent a couple of hours a few days ago just watched. There's a lot of their videos on YouTube, and they have such energy and vibrancy.
Exactly. That's what I love about them. They're not a big name in the blues field, but musically they are very, very good.
But they certainly belong in a blues lineup, don't they?
It is the energy I love.
So that's the Future Shape of Sound. And then following them, we've got, the slide just says Robin Capsalis, but this is going to be Giles Robson as well and Oscar Wilson, isn't it?
That's right. Robin Capsalis is a singer from Chicago who's actually, I think last year, married Giles Robson, who is also one of the top harmonica players in Europe and has been winning awards playing with John Primer in Chicago. But Robin's primarily the singer because she's this blues diva from Chicago. But what we wanted to do as well, we want to include the old guys. I've always done this with my clubs in the past. We brought over some of the old guys from the States who are getting forgotten about, and there's not many left anymore. So Giles has managed to get Oscar Wilson over, who is, I think, 78 years old. He's flying in from Chicago just to do this gig. So he's teaming up with Robin and Giles, and it's just a tribute to Chicago blues.
Yeah, I've seen. Giles is one of the few that I have gone north for because he's been doing, excuse me, he's been doing these quite intimate gigs all around, and he's toured in Inverness and Elgin up to the northeast of here. In fact, last year it was only Giles and Guy Davis. He did a small gig up in the north coast, but Giles I saw for the first time in the Edinburgh Blues Club a couple of years ago in the Pleasance Theatre, and he was playing. He was the first act on for a night called The Legends of Chicago Blues, and it was Jimmy Primetime Smith, Bob Cauditor, and Oscar Wilson. And Oscar Wilson was just what a class act. He had the whole of the audience absolutely eating out the palm of his hand. And when Giles Robson came on and played alongside him, it's just difficult to top that kind of quality. Really looking forward to that
and
one.
people like Oscar, you've got to catch them now because there's not many of them left. And when they're gone, that's it.
And I can't remember fully the story, but he said he'd Scottish blood in his ancestry. I mean, I think it was a story of slavery and.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know the story to that. We'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it's a happy story because I mean that's potential to not be a very happy story. But yeah, he was quite excited about it because I think it was maybe his first time in Scotland, and he was sort of connecting with something from his ancestry.
Yeah, well, that's why I was looking forward to coming up and doing this. And he's such a lovely guy. And like you said, I mean, when he gets on stage, his presence and everything, that's not something you can imitate. It's just there.
Yeah. It was worrying actually because he was right at the front of the stage, and of course he has a walking stick. I don't know if he has a walking stick all the time, but he had that day. And I was in the second front row, and we were all ready to jump forward for what we felt was the inevitable tumble. But he came down and right into front of the stage and handed the microphone round, and it was a really collective effort of got my mojo working. Brilliant memories.
Hopefully we can do that on the bigger stage.
Then we've got another big name. We've got Alvin Youngblood Hart, a man with a story, a man who's got the blues oozing out of him, I think.
Yes, he's a bit more contemporary and a bit more heavy on the guitar work and things like that. But he's an exciting musician. He has his own sound. And lately he's been involved in the multi-nominated Oscar movie Sinners, which still some people don't seem to have heard about, but it's one of the best blues movies that's been ever made. It's the story of blues, but turned into a vampire movie, but it's still majority about the music, and he's been involved in the making of that. So I think he's got his eyes open on Oscars coming up before the festival.
Well, I was a kind of latecomer to Sinners. We had the Edinburgh Blues Club last year with Erin Harp, and just in the course of our conversation, she said, "Have you not seen Sinners yet?" And I went home and watched it and didn't realize, I had no idea how big it was going to be.
Yeah,
and then, of course, it's broken all these records.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And in fact, we've got two of the artists involved. I think Alvin was the musical director, but also Tierney from Southern Avenue also was co-writer of the Oscar-nominated song from. So just by chance, we've got these bands that are linked up with this amazing movie. And the Oscars will be announced, I think, in a week's time or something.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I mean, it's likely to do well, but it would be lovely to see the music aspect of it really recognised.
Oh, exactly, and it can only do good. It can only do good for blues in general. It's always nice.
And then we've got
kickstart.
Southern Avenue, Grammy-nominated Southern Avenue.
Yes. Again, these are one of the most exciting bands. Everybody is talking about them. And when you speak to people looking at the lineup, everyone, yes, it's a great lineup. And they're all saying, yes, we're looking forward to seeing Southern Avenue because hardly anybody's seen them live before. They have been to Europe before, but they're flying in from Memphis just to play at Inverness on this tour. And they just love having fun. And you can see that on stage.
I mean, they're kind of new to the whole scene, aren't they? I mean, they're not like kind of.
But that's why they've got the interest of everybody going. They've just caught everyone's imagination, and they are three sisters, and the guitarist is the husband to one of them. So it truly is a fan band.
And I believe it was Family is the album, the name of the album, isn't it? That was nominated
Right.
for the
Their
Grammy.
latest release, yes.
So if anybody's watching or listening and you haven't heard of Southern Avenue before, that's where you want to look at Southern Avenue and Family. And then we've got the fabulous Thunderbirds with the I think it's not too much of an exaggeration to say the legendary Kim Wilson.
Well, that's it. It's basically blues royalty. They've been going for forever, it seems. Everybody you talk to, all the other harmonica players, the one person they all look up to is Kim.
Yeah.
I've not heard a single person say otherwise. And
No,
they don't play that many festivals. They normally just play their concert gigs in big concert halls and things like that because they can sell them out. But we managed to get them over. Again, they're flying in from Austin as a one-off just to play Inverness. And they're so excited to be coming over and doing this. There's not many of these bands that get to come to Scotland to play.
No, and hopefully if we put Scotland on the map, the radar for them, they'll all be looking for more opportunities to come.
Yes,
if we give them a great time, they'll want to come back.
This is part
when
of
it comes to harmonica
players. Inverness on the map, to get Scotland on the map. This could be just the start. That's the whole intention. Is this is the start. If this is a success and we get the crowd in, it can only go one way.
Yeah, absolutely. It can only grow. It can only grow. But you do hear when people talk about harmonica players, when you hear all the dead ones, everyone wants to be Little Walter or Sonny Boy 2 or whatever. But of the living ones, Kim is always on the list.
Yes,
and that would be an epic thing to have Kim and the fabulous.
Yeah, well, even the other musicians on the at the festival, I think they're all looking forward to seeing him and meeting up with him.
Well, he's blues royalty, isn't he?
Yes, he is. It really is. And as we've sort of tried to say, we really think this is one of the best blues lineup for one-day festival in the UK that there's been for many, many years.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, I think the blues. I'll take that off now. Put it back up later on. In many ways, the blues scene in the UK is really healthy. We've got lots of good festivals. And every year I make it to the Calendar Jazz and Blues Festival. There's the Orkney one. There's a 1 or 2 day festival in Arran. So even in Scotland, and of course a lot going on in Glasgow as well. But there's just something quite special about this lineup, and I'm super impressed that you managed to get them all.
Well, that's basically what I've done over the years. It's sort of my job. It's getting people. And because I do this, I like to say I do this for the right reasons, and so I'm looking at it from enjoyment. What do we want to get? What we're going to enjoy? What we're going to have fun with. I'm not a blues purist, and so it makes life easier. I've got an open mind about it, about who we can get, what we can get, and you can only ask people and make them offers, and you just try and get the right balance.
That's true, but it doesn't sound as though you had any great resistance when you were asking these folk. It does sound, from what I've heard, that they're all very excited.
Well, it works. It works with some and others. I mean, there's other people we couldn't get for various reasons, and that's the way it goes. It's the same for anyone who does this. You have to look around and see who's available, who's willing, and there's all sorts of factors involved. It's not that easy, and you generally have to start very early.
Yeah. So when did this, in an embryonic way, start?
Well, we've been talking about this for about 2 years, but we didn't get the actual sort of go ahead till about 6 months ago. But that's a little bit late, actually. If there were future ones, we would start planning it immediately after one's finished. Mm-hmm. That's only how it works. And you start making things work in your mind. It's what you want to do, who you have thoughts about getting, and you start contacting people. But it's a slow process, really.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of negotiation in the background.
Yes.
But what was nice was, so at the launch day back in January, was to see how many different aspects of the city have come together in order to try and streamline it for people who want to come. So the hotel industry is very much on board, and of course there's catering, and then there's the tent issue, in case the weather's bad. Everything seemed to be covered, and everything seemed to be dovetailing together pretty well. The whole kind of tourism expertise that's coming around to bear to try and make it just as straightforward as people. So if they want to come, they can enjoy the music. They don't have to spend too much time worrying about their accommodation or how they're going to get there or the other practicalities and mechanics. They can just come and enjoy the music, and those other things are fairly smoothly taken care of.
Well, that's the advantage of having it in the city. I mean, it's a great venue to have it in the Northern Meeting Park under a big top, but the city is right there. So it makes life a lot easier. And one of the reasons everybody's got involved and got behind it is we are doing this for Inverness and the Highlands. That's the start of it. We want people to come there, enjoy the area, come and enjoy the festival, but also enjoy the area as well, and get to see how beautiful it is.
And hopefully they will. It would be a nice thing that people would come to Inverness and say, do you know, we'll just take a couple of days and tour the Highlands, maybe take in a couple of distilleries. And one of the things about the lineup that's there is I think it will resonate with the sort of the local music scene, which of course is quite traditional Scottish folky. And it's not blues, but of course a lot of blues originally would have just been considered like a kind of folk music of its time and generation.
It all links together.
So I hopefully that people will maybe stay for a few days, enjoy some of the other music that's available in and around the area, and maybe take in a distillery or two, whatever. A hill walk.
Well,
there's plenty of stuff.
I mean, I think first thoughts coming to Scotland, everyone thinks it's whiskey.
Absolutely. Whiskey and mountains. It's not always the best combination, right enough, but whiskey. Will you be up for a few days yourself?
Sure. Sorry?
Are you up for a few days yourself, or will you just be...
Yeah, we'll be up there from early in the week, just making sure everything's getting set up, as it should be and things like that. And then we'll have a couple of days chilling out after the festival.
So you will get a chance to relax.
Yeah, you need to just wind down. Yes.
Do you? I know you're not from the area, but
it's not too bad. This is just one day. I mean, my previous one has been 2-3 days.
Right. I can see why that would be a heavier weight. But I'm guessing you know the area if you've got family in the area anyway. If you've got
actually not particularly. I hadn't been to Inverness until we had a meeting about the festival.
Right.
So that's the first time up, and that's why we were pleasantly surprised how lovely it is up there. You know, with the river going through, walking down the river and going down to Loch Ness. It's I think a lot of the people when they come there, they'll really enjoy it.
It is the kind of place that you have to make an effort to get to. You know, it's not like Glasgow or Edinburgh where you just life will take you to these places.
That's the sort of only problem is getting people there.
But I think as much as possible, that's being overcome, and as much as it's possible to make it easier, I think all the elements coming together are helping that. Yeah,
with everyone involved and the hotel packages that are available, making it easy for people, and that's also why we had to have a good lineup, is to attract people, to give them a reason in the first place to come.
Yeah. We've a couple of people who have kind of been dipping in and out, so I'll just give them an opportunity if anybody wants to type a question in the chat room that anybody's missing, but that kind of rarely happens, but we'll always like to give folk that opportunity. Just a reminder that the website for the Inverness International Blues Festival is dead easy to remember. It is just invernessbluesfestival.com, and all the information that anybody could want is there, whether it's accommodation or questions about the location or parking or accessibility. Everything that you want is clearly labeled on that website. And I think other than that, we're just... those of us who are local, who are into blues, are dead excited about it. And I think probably anybody who's local, who's just into music, will have a great...
That's one of the points we're pushing as well, actually. Everyone needs to just treat it as a music festival. because I think a lot of people will be surprised if what they think of blues and their opinions of blues. Just come and think of it as a music festival, and you will actually have a ball. You'll be surprised at the style of music, the quality of music, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because I mean, all of these guys or all of these artists are I mean, they're blues, but you will just love it if you're a music lover, won't you?
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I could just say as well is the ticket prices. They've been held down by the council to give everyone a chance to come and enjoy this. I mean, a festival like this, the prices would be normally twice as high.
The price has been pretty good, and of course, they held the early bird thing for a long period.
Yeah, well, let's say we try to give people in the local, everybody, a chance to afford to be able to go. They didn't want to price people out. It was not that sort of festival. It's not a money-making festival. We're doing this for Inverness.
I was just having a check there, and I didn't want to give the wrong information about what the current ticket price is.
They're £40 at the moment.
40. I thought they were 40. I didn't want to announce that in case they'd get up to 45 or something like that. But £40 for the ticket. Excellent. Kevin, thank you so much. Is there anything else that we've not spoken about that you think it's important to get across for people to be able to enthuse? And
no, I think we just want people to come along and enjoy the day. That's all it's about. If you like music, just come along, give it a chance. I mean, the blues fans, I think, will be there already.
Yeah, as soon as we saw the word blues in Inverness, we were going to be there.
Yeah.
But we're spreading the word to make sure that hopefully as many people as possible will come along. And I quite often say, I mean, when we're presenting shows on Space Sound Radio, we have a big variety of different show. And part of what we do when we're plugging our own show is to say, listen, tune into something that you've never perhaps listened to before. And you might be surprised, you might discover that you're perfectly at home in amongst whether it's kind of traditional Scottish music or funk music or whatever it might be. And hopefully, if there are people who've never given blues a shot before, if you've never really thought of yourself as a blues guy or a blues girl, then yeah, come along. Is it too much to guarantee a good time? I think we can guarantee a good time.
Oh, I think we can guarantee that. Yes.
Excellent.
And so there will be some food stalls. There'll be a full bar there and everything. So everything's set up to come spend the day there.
And it really is a full day thing. And if you're around in the area and if you want to give us a shout, then you can email me at the whiskyrev@gmail.com or at my radio email address, which is the whiskyrev@spacesound.com. Either of those will get me. I'd love to, because one of the things I love about blues is meeting with and connecting with people. So if you're around and you want to get in touch, say hi, meet at one of the food stalls, share a coffee, share a chat, then please give us a shout. And hopefully we'll see you hovering around. Will you be backstage making sure everything's going smoothly, or will you get a chance to be around the front and then just enjoy it as a punter?
Oh, I'll be everywhere. I'll just be making sure it's all running smoothly, hopefully.
I'm sure it will. All it needs to happen is as long as these acts get on the stage and the sound works, then it's a good day. Exactly.
Yes. I'll okay, so at the end of the day, and then I'll say I've enjoyed it.
What kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of blues do you listen to yourself? I know you said you're not a blues purist, but
again, well, because I listen to everything. I mean, we all have the standard favourites, Muddy and Howlin' Wolf and Johnny Hooker, but I literally like all styles of blues and all sorts of music as well. I mean, what I love listening to, and we got into this when we went to New Orleans, there's a radio station, WWOZ, which is a community radio station in New Orleans. And we play that at home through their app or through the website. And they just have fantastic blues and jazz and all sorts of New Orleans music playing all day long.
It's phenomenal. And when I started presenting a blues radio show, and I subscribed to a couple of blues magazines to try and just keep ahead of what's abreast of Blues Matters in the UK and Living Blues in the States. And then the Independent Blues Broadcasters Association, I didn't know existed. But through that, we get so much music sent us. It's so much more than we're able to play on the show. It's the only frustration is when you get music and you think, I just don't have the room on a show to play all of this great stuff, and the variety that comes as well. And there's some people who push the whole we straddle genres, and some of it is more folk or it's more country or whatever. But the variety and the quality of music that we get for free, and there's I think between 75 and 80 community blues radio stations in the UK at the minute. And hopefully they will all be plugging Inverness International Blues Festival. I know one or two of the presenters are hoping to come along, one or two of the ones from the Central Belt, Glasgow, and down in Ayrshire. So hopefully we'll get a chance to, because we don't get to meet, we all...
No, sure you don't, yeah.
So it'd be nice to just meet some of them and shake hands and, and do blues anorak.
That's the same with a lot of musicians. They don't sort of see each other very often. So at a festival, they've got a chance to actually sit down together and to watch each other play and things like that.
That must be very exciting.
It's really nice for everybody.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Kevin.
No, pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
My absolute pleasure. I shall end the stream. Thank you to whoever it was that's been joining us for the last half hour or so, and anybody who tunes in later on. Please feel free to share the link for this. It's only to promote the Inverness International Blues Festival, so please feel free to share far and wide and listen to the Whisky Rev Blues. You can find us on spacesound.com. I'll say cheerio for now.